a bill that would change the Civil Rights Act of 1964 to ban discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation, gender identity, and sexual preference is proposed in Congress. Thousands rallied across the U.S. and in Washington, D.C. to show support for the Equality Act. Tonight, we bring you team coverage from our Washington, D.C. reporters who attended the Pride March at the Capitol over the weekend. Emma Lockhart spoke with transgender lobbyists about how they're impacting legislation on Capitol Hill, and she joins us now. Emma?
The Arizona women we spoke to were in Washington to lobby for a bill supporting equal rights for transgender people. They say it was important to bring that message directly to representatives, especially in a time when they fear rights for the LGBT community are going backwards.
Erica Kepler traveled from Phoenix to Washington to have her voice heard as a transgender woman.
We desperately need protections because our lives are very difficult, and and to live fully and equally as members of society, we need some help from government to say to people that you need to play nice with others, you need to respect your fellow citizens.
She was one of 3 Arizona women lobbying Congress to support the Equality Act, an act that will prevent discrimination in employment, housing, and public businesses. For Heather Newman from Flagstaff, it's discrimination she fears of every day.
I'm a single parent. You know, if I were to say, take my son, he's 4-year-old, he's a beautiful little boy. If I were to take him to Chuck E. Cheese, we could be turned away because I'm transgender.
Arizona does not protect people from gender identity discrimination, but Newman is still hopeful.
I think we gave them sort of a new insight into the Equality Act that they didn't have before by sort of personalizing it for them and telling our own stories.
Sharing their personal stories to try and break down the stereotypes.
We're just people like any other people who happen to be dealing with a very unusual condition of birth, and we are simply pursuing our happiness as should be our right chartered in our nation, just as it is for anybody else.
Kepler hopes this initiates change in Congress.
The Equality Act they were lobbying for has 195 co-sponsors in the House, including all 4 Arizona Democrats. That bill, introduced last month, is still waiting for a hearing. Live in Washington, Emma Lockhart, Cronkite News.